So Charles, I understand that when you did come here, you had a strained relationship with your parents, and especially, I think, your father.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But while you've been on your journey since Valiant Recovery, I understand that your relationship with your father has changed. Would you like to describe that?
Oh, definitely.
Or tell us about it?
Yeah, well, go into my past a little bit. Basically, the whole ordeal started when I was quite young, when my dad was first starting up his business. Basically, he would be spending anywhere from 12 to 16, 17 hours a day, basically at his business, trying to get things started up and running smoothly. And basically that ended up costing us valuable time that we would spend together. It was an issue when I was quite younger. I actually remember having some counseling about it, but basically him being caught up in his business took away a lot of time that we could have spent together. Really strained our relationships, and that being said, I didn't really look up to him as a father figure the way I should have. So I was turning to other people, other older, like my friends, dads, and using my other friends to basically get through my childhood. Basically, I guess we'll go into, while I was in treatment, probably the major thing was I really found out actually how much he cared for me and loved me, and how much he was actually willing to do to keep me alive and healthy. And while I was in treatment here, we developed an amazing relationship. We started talking about things we've never talked about before, hanging out, and now I don't see him as just a father, I also see him as a very good friend now.
That's awesome. Has your dad always been distant, or?
Yeah, well, he was actually dealing with his own addiction, which he wasn't even aware of basically the whole time I was growing up.
And that's an interesting fact, because I know that when you're in Valiant and he started to go to AA meetings with you, right?
He did,
or
yes.
some of the meetings.
Yes.
Now, what did he come to understand about himself?
Well, he came to understand that he was really damaged. He had a lot of the same problems that I had, and he was an addict, no question about it. He was in denial basically the whole time I've known him about his alcoholism, and he came to know that he has got some scars, definitely, just like I do, and now he's learning to deal with them. And actually, interesting enough, the day I came into the detox facility was the last day he had a drink too.
That's really encouraging.
8 months ago, yes.
So he said, you know what, my son's sick and I need help and for my son, and I'm going to do this with him. And in that statement,
yes,
he found that he also was needing some help as well.
And that really impressed me too. That
well,
brought us even closer together.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I find this story very incredible, that you and your father, you came in with the addiction, your father fearful of your life, afraid his little boy was going to die. Both of you he wanted to support you, coming to meetings with you and attending, then realizing he had his own addiction,
yes,
and then also realizing that he needed God in his life to
Absolutely.
Guide him and direct him.
Yeah.
Now there's something interesting that I remember, especially with your family. You have a sister, a beautiful
yes.
sister. You have a beautiful mom and dad. And here was a family that really presented something so desperate. A cry from the depth of their soul, help my son live. What do you have to say to the moms and the fathers out there of children who are lost in addiction?
Well,
If you had one word to encourage them, if you had something to give them, what would you say to them?
if you're looking for treatment for a loved one, your child or whoever, just know that it gets better. There's no other way than up once you start treatment, and you have to know that there are literally hundreds of people out there that are willing to give their heart and soul to save your child and basically help them along the path to recovery. I think
Cool.
that's probably one of the most important things.
And what would you say to the individual watching this right now that is looking on the website for somewhere to go? A person who is addicted to alcohol or cocaine or crack or food or gambling, many addictions.
I have to say that not a lot of people realize how damaging addictions are to their lives and all those around them. So basically what you need to know is that this is probably the absolute best thing that you can do for your life, because you not only beat your addiction, get all the tools to equip yourself to handle everyday life, you basically take an absolute complete inventory of your whole life, and it's basically a university of self-discovery, I'd say.
That's very good. University of Self-Discovery.
Yeah.
So Charles, you became aware that you were in a field of work that really was not you. You were doing it for someone else.
Yes.
Someone who really felt you would do well in that area. But on that journey of self-discovery, you realized that there was something deeper in your heart, and that was to help others.
Yes.
What would you say about Valiant? How was your experience here?
Well, I've never been in any recovery center before, but I do know of quite a few other places. And from what I've gathered, and from what I've experienced, is that these people really do care about you. You know, they're not paid to care about you. They actually will put everything on the line to help you. You know, you can call these people any time of the day. They're there whenever you need them, and they just give you, I'd say, probably one of the main things that you're lacking before you come in here, and that's real love and compassion.
So after you finished your program, you went back home to Edmonton.
Yes.
Did you have any availability to help when you were struggling with, again, feeling lonely, fearful to go out, fear you're going to run into some of your other friends and not knowing how you were going to deal or cope with it? What was provided for you?
Well, this nice lady sitting here was available pretty much any time I'd like. I know I talked to her, I'd say at least a couple times a week, and that was probably one of the biggest bonuses of coming here. Just having somebody that you can go to whenever you're feeling down, whenever you have issues, stressed out, feel like unsure about something, just anything at all. And it really, really helped me.
And you had a lot of things that you had to go back and close. You had to go back and leave your job. You had to get your tools, say goodbye to your friends.
Yes.
Went back home to live with mom and dad. You also owned a home.
Yeah, I did.
Being 21 and owning a home is pretty amazing. I was quite surprised.
Just about lost that home too before I came in here.
And what happened?
My parents cared about me. They basically helped give me my life back, and that ultimately saved me. Saved my house, saved my car, saved my friends, saved my life, saved my relationship with my family.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
That's great love. So your father and your mother and your sister and everyone in your family actually laid their life down for you.
Yes, they did.
That's pretty amazing.